St. James,
I'm about to record, Nas. Come on. What are you doing?
I wake up in that zone, nigga, can't nobody stop the magic. While I see I'm the truth, so what I want, I gotta have it. Them niggas problematic, really they just problematics. Holy, 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 yeah, look. Me and stagnation never got along. Niggas act like they ain't on a mission, I'ma ride alone. Merchandise, studio time, I never got along. Holy, 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 yeah, let's go. About to show niggas how to really do it. I'm all out of bounds, it ain't no ceiling to it. Still do my thing on the baseline. I'm up and still get visions, that's dream awake time. Told her I'm the God, not God, I can't make time. What's the currency for success? God takes time. I ain't come to make friends, I just came to make what? Niggas smarter, bitches come in some cake. They asking if I'm really real, do Mercedes make Benz, nigga? New York niggas wear Timbs, nigga. Jordan Peele make films. 26 letters and I'm focused on the W. Come see about us, maybe you and I could get the M's. Real shit, yeah. It's the God G Holy reppin' gholy.com, and back with an episode of Ranked. You know what I mean? Today we doing Benny the Butcher. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? Benny has the least tapes out of Griselda. So I'm doing Benny first pause because honestly, he was the easiest pause. You know what I'm saying? Important to note right off the bat. I went back and forth between my first brick and the original The Plugs I Met. My first brick ended up winning out just because it's more songs. And this is the thing with Benny's discography. Benny got a lot of EPs, right? So one, if you don't see something here, it's because it wasn't originals, like all originals, like Tana Talk 2 wasn't all originals. Butcher on Steroids wasn't all originals. Or it's a joint John, like Statue of Limitations, Stabbed and Shot. We're only doing solos, and they have to have 7 tracks. So if it's not a solo and it doesn't have 7 tracks, it's not going on here. So that's everything, right? Cool, boom. All right, top to bottom or bottom to top? How should we do it? Let's go bottom to top. Cool. 1 on a 1. One thing about Benny's projects that's not the ones that aren't that great is it's just missing West Side Gun. Like, West Side Gun would have never approved this album. Like, the production is almost terrible. The flows is almost terrible. Some of the production is cool. Yeah, mostly it's just not there. It's not there. It's not like coming together. It's like a 2005, like not 2000. Whenever Rick Ross was the hottest rapper on the planet. It's like that year, generic, like just generic that year shit. Like, Rick Hyde, I think, had some production on there. Even Rick Hyde was doing like trap beats, I believe. Yeah, not feeling it, not a fan of it. By far his worst. Like, that album is probably like a 2.5 out of 10. And this is Benny. That sounds crazy. The Plugs I Met too. Also very underwhelming. 2 tracks on there was like great. 1 track was like mediocre. The other, they missed so bad with The Plugs I Met too. And then continuing from The Plugs I Met, I just felt like just even the name was just disrespect to The Plugs I Met. Like, it's like Harry Fraud, Benny. I think this was going on with Benny. I don't know if Benny should do the one producer albums, unless he's going to do Derringer or Alchemist. Just not that good. A friend of ours, I remember this rollout was kind of weird, so I wasn't going to include it, but technically it made it. It's all originals, and it's got over 7 tracks, or 7 and over. So it's got like 11 tracks, 10 tracks, something like that. Benny wasn't rapping his greatest on A Friend of Ours. Production was cool. Way too many features. I mean, El Camino and Rick Hyde and all, like, it's just I don't think it's a single song on A Friend of Ours that doesn't have a feature. So I was already going to judge that a little differently. I like Benny when it's Benny, honestly. Picasso, Pyrex. I mean, Picasso, Pyrex. Pyrex, Picasso. I was kind of messed up to hear that this was a old tape when I heard it, because coming off of Burden of Proof, and I believe Plugs I'm at too, possibly, but definitely Burden of Proof, I was like, Benny kind of lost a step. And when I heard Pyrex Picasso, I was like, oh, this sound like the old Benny. And then he go on like some social site and was like, yeah, this was recorded like 3 years ago. I'm like, oh, I could tell, because this is the Benny you know what I mean? I really mess with. Then it's Burden of Proof. We're going from worst to best. I don't like saying worst to best and with artists. Let me say we're going from, I don't know, like not the hot. I don't know, something like that. I don't like worst to best though. But Burden of Proof was a miss. It wasn't a miss. It wasn't a miss. Let me say that. Burden of Proof got some joints on there. Burden of Proof might have the least replay value of any Benny album. And it's mostly Hit Boy. I think Hit Boy kind of botched this joint. Benny didn't sound like super comfortable, except for like the intro and the outro, maybe 1 or 2 other tracks. I think Benny just stepped a little bit too far out of his element. Like, if this is what his Def Jam debut is going to be, which I'm hoping is not, I need for him, if he going to step out of his realm a little bit, to just feel comfortable doing it and make sure the songs is fire, because it was a lot of those hooks that just wasn't it. It was a lot. It sounded like his attempt at an industry sounding album, and it just didn't come. It didn't come together well. It's not bad, but it's not that Benny. It's like maybe like I think we gave it like a 6.5, something like that. But you know, for Benny, that's not that great. For the average rapper, that's like probably one of their best tapes. For Benny, it's not. The Plugs I met, I mean, top to bottom, man. I mean, you start off with that intro, which is a very forgettable intro, by the way. Like, he could have saved the intro, or you could have just did like one of them West Side Gun intros where it's like, yo, it's Benny, fuck y'all niggas, and I'm about to rap. You know what I mean? But he didn't. Crowns for Kings. Then it's like Sunday School, 18-wheeler, India, 5 to 50. It's like, come on, bro. Not even India. Not India. 5 to 50. It's like, yo, let's stop. It's too many joints on there. Like, the only reason, like I said, that My First Brick is above the Plugs I met is just length. Like I said, Benny is either going to give you 7 joints or he's going to give you 83. So it's like, you know, it's kind of why it was written is even in a conversation with, you know, Illmatic, right? But we'll get to that. We'll revisit that concept moving forward. My First Brick is the most underrated Benny project that he has. It's a very well curated album. Couple cheesy joints like the hook on the second joint. Actually, Me and Doug, the intro is probably his best intro. You know what I'm saying? Then you got the joint with Conway and Spesh. It's just like, it's a good flow. He's rapping on there. I mean, this is possibly his best raps, honestly. Bar for bar, this could go with maybe Tana Talk 3. You know what I mean? Butcher on steroids. So, yeah, this is Benny. My First Brick. If you haven't listened to that in a while, go back. Go back to My First Brick. You're going to be pleasantly surprised. Number 2, Tana Talk 4. One once again, I feel like people don't realize the genius of Tana Talk 4. I think Tana Talk 4 pause is like a, I ain't even gonna say that analogy. Just because it's two pause. I think that Tana Talk 4 is going to age like wine. I think people wanted Tana Talk 3 from Tana Talk 4. But we didn't get Tana Talk 3 from we didn't get Tana Talk 2 from Tana Talk 3. So I think it was the best sidestep you could have. Because you're not going to do Tana Talk 3 again. I mean, let me not say not. Instead of trying to pull off Tana Talk 3, why not make like an alternate version of Tana Talk 3? And I think Tana Talk 4 was that. I think top to bottom, the beats is crisp. Having half Derringer, half Alchemist was genius. I think Alchemist won that battle, especially with Thowie's Revenge. There's not a time where the bars is lacking. The only thing maybe out of place on Tana Talk 4 that may keep it from being a masterpiece is the joint with him in Stove God could have came later in the, like, think about if number 3 was number 2 on that album. It's a different album. And then we put the Stove God joint somewhere towards the end, like close to the West Side Gun joint. The West Side Gun joint was another kind of missed. Like, the joint with him and Wes on there is like, Wes ain't have his greatest verse, and Benny just did like a generic, here's all my albums verse. Like, it wasn't a great joint. But other than that, I mean, it's no flaws. It's no flaws in this. So, that's still like a 9.7. But Benny has a 10 out of 10 album. One of the only albums I directly compared to Reasonable Doubt. And that's Tana Talk 3. Tana Talk 3 still stands as the best Griselda tape. I mean, and it might, I don't want to be disrespectful to Conway and West Side Gun, but there's only a few of their albums that's even in consideration for, the top of the top, as with like Benny. But Tana Talk 4 and Tana Talk 3, my first brick, 3 of the best Griselda albums, you know what I mean? Like, ever. I'll get into Conway later, pause. I'll get into West Side later. No freaky. But yeah. Tana Talk 3 is the not the Magna Carta. Is it? The Holy Grail. I'm thinking Jay-Z. It is the magnum opus. It's Benny's magnum opus. It's his most grand project. 23 tracks. Everything is a slammer. All the singles is fire. He rapping his ass off. It's like quintessential New York street hip hop. I compared Tana Talk 3 to Mobb Deep, The Infamous. It's like, it's in that realm. And I like it better than The Infamous, to be totally honest. It's some days where I like Tana Talk 3 more than Reasonable Doubt. Some days. Like, if I had 10 days to listen to both, I might like Tana Talk 3 2 or 3 days out of that 10. You get what I'm saying? So it's that great of an album. I mean, it's just a masterpiece. So that was Benny being ranked. You know what I mean? If you disagree with me, please come and disagree. Just remember the rules. They gotta have 7 tracks to be considered. It gotta be a solo. And that's about it, I think, right? So yeah, it's the guy G Holy, always repping gholy.com. Benny just got ranked. Shout out to everybody who been supporting. More to come. Y'all want to see this rank? I'm doing about 5 ranks. If y'all not biting after 5 ranks, if we ain't at least doing a couple hundred views, I'm out of here with the ranks. We only doing what's working. I'm gonna keep it real. We on business time. About to get my monetization back. So if you like it, share it, do what you gotta do, sub, all that, so we can keep it moving. But I'm gonna do more of these, but I'm only doing like 5. I think I'm gonna do Nas, possibly Beanie Siegel, and maybe Outkast. I'm looking at Nas, Beanie Siegel, and Outkast. then it might be over. If I can't get a combined 5,000 views from them 5, might be time to end it. But yeah, it's the guy Gioli, reppingioli.com. I'm out. Might wake up and drop a bag, may wake up and drop a classic. Living in my mind, I really do whatever I imagine. Really making this movie while they jot the captions. They fuck with comedy and drama, nigga. Really, I'm just about the action. This for whoever need to hear that they a champion. And if you see it, then it can be done. Word. Yeah, I used to watch shows on Hulu, I just landed one. I used to dream of them checks, I was just handed one.